Hi, and welcome to episode 9 of the Beks Creates podcast. My name's Beks, and I'm coming to you from a rather grey, overcast Bristol. It is Monday, the 3rd of August, and yeah, I'm back again. It's been a couple of weeks. I was hoping to podcast sooner, but I didn't really have enough content, and I've been pretty busy, so yeah, I didn't quite get it done as soon as I wanted to, but that's okay. So what I've been up to, I've really been enjoying the first couple of weeks of the school holidays. It took me a long time to catch up from the madness of the end of term. So I've enjoyed some nice, downtime. Catching up with people, all sorts of things. Feeling a bit sad today because we should have just landed in Italy for our holiday, and obviously that's not happening. But it's okay, I'm not that sad about it. We took it into our control quite early on and cancelled it really early so that we weren't waiting and leaving it in the hands of somebody else. So that makes me feel a little bit better. So yes, instead, this week, Paul's working. I'm just going to be around and about, but on Friday we're going to have an Italian night, so we'll still get the Italian food that I was so looking forward to. Just a shame I have to cook it myself now. So I've got lots of things to show you today. I've been quite busy with my knitting. 1 or 2 finished objects. I've got a few whips, not loads, but I'm looking forward to casting some on soon. I've got a few questions that I've been asked, which I'm going to answer throughout the course of the podcast. And I've also got a giveaway, which is really exciting. So, yeah, quite a bit to show you and quite a bit to talk about. Sorry, I'm really self-conscious. There's a lady over the road cleaning the upstairs windows and I'm sitting here talking to my phone. It's fine, she'll probably think I'm working from home and on a video call or something. It's okay. Just to keep like catching my eye. Okay, so I'll start with finished objects. So the first one is one that you haven't even seen as a whip. So I think like the same day that I filmed a podcast last time, I spent the rest of it with my darling goddaughter Freya, who is 4.5, and just wonderful. She's a little ray of sunshine, and she is the most knit-worthy person I know. She's always enthusiastic about my knitting. She loves choosing colours, and she wears all my knits. And obviously she loves the fun rainbow colours, bright colours, pastel colours. So anything I knit for her is not only tiny and cute, but also really nice colours. So she spotted one of the minis that I showed you last time from Wild Wool and declared that she'd like that for herself. So I immediately cast on this little pair of shorty socks for her. How cute are those? So I only sorry, I can't talk properly today. I only had a 20-gram mini of this, and she is 4.5. She's got quite big feet because she's tall. Sort of lengthwise, she's like at least 5 to 6 really. So her shoe size I think is about a 10 or 11. So she has got quite big feet. So what I did was I just did shorties. I made sure I kept weighing it so I had enough. And then I just found some neon leftovers which I could use for the toe and heel. So these absolutely flew off the needles. I think I did the whole pair in like just under 2 days. Like no time at all. I did 48 stitches. Which seems to be okay, and I've actually made a little template of her foot now, because when she was smaller I would make her socks. Sorry, dropping things everywhere. When she was smaller I would make her socks. I wouldn't put a heel in, I just did tube socks because she was growing so quickly, but I think now is going to be a bit more comfortable for her to have a heel. So I have made a template of her foot. This is how big her foot is. Here's my hand for size. Oh, that's quite useful actually. If it's exactly the same size as my hand, I could just measure with that. So yeah, these seem perfect. I would say there's a tiny bit of growing room, sort of a tiny bit of positive ease in these, which will be perfect. So yeah, it kind of ends here. So that's all good because she's growing all the time, and the width seems pretty good as well. So I'm quite happy with those. I think the neon minis are from Sophie at Pixie Yarns, and the rainbow stripe is neon, oh no, I talked about this last time, Electric Squid. That's it, Electric Squid by Alice at Wild Wool, which is just lush. It was so nice to knit up, so fun. And there's quite a lot of sort of nuances in the colours. I don't know how well you can see, but sort of there's some little pastely bits, and then you get some really intense bits. Absolutely gorgeous. So yes, I'm going to give her these tomorrow, and I know she's going to love them. And there are more socks in the pipeline for her, which I'll show you in a bit. My next finished object is a really happy one. I was so pleased to get this off the needles. It's my Fleur Shawl. Here it is in all its neon gorgeousness. Look at all those bobbles. So this is the Fleur Shawl by Espace Tricot. It was, normally their patterns are free, but this one was paid for charity. Came out fairly recently. So the pattern calls for DK yarn, but I decided to use fingering and hold it double just because I find it is a little bit more economic. But what I did find, and now this is probably to do with my gauge, I never swatch for shawls. I'm not going to swatch for a shawl, I barely swatch for sweaters. And I think my gauge has probably come up tight because the pattern said I'd need 3 skeins of DK, and I had 2 skeins of fingering to hold double, which should have given me extra meterage. But I ran out, as you can see, the last section is done in a different yarn, and I ran out of this main colour. So I did have to substitute something in. That was okay, I had something handy. This yarn, you will know, you've seen before, is from Pixie Yarns, and Sophie very kindly sort of customised one of her existing colours for me. I think she just took off some purple speckles and called it Beks' Orange Fleur. So it's very special, this one. Then the bobbles are just done in a naked undyed floof, which I got from Claire, which is just an alpaca silk. And then this last wedge I had some Nougat by Stranded Dye Works left over. So I just used that because I thought it worked quite nicely. I would not knit another one of these. I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's a really good size on me. I love the kind of dramaticness of the bubbles. It's just lovely. Let me stand up in there so you can see it's like a really good size, and I will block it out so hopefully that gets a bit longer and I could tie that up a bit more comfortably because I quite like to wear them like that. But I would never make another because those bubbles did my head in. I mean, the great thing about this shawl is it's easy. I mean, the majority is just garter, but the rows got long quickly because you increase quite quickly to make this really long span. Oh God, look at me, scruff. Sorry, I feel like I'm hopeless today. Yeah, so you've got this really long span, so the increases go quite sharply. So the rows got long quickly, and there kind of wasn't enough to keep your interest, but also because my gauge was quite close, it was kind of hard to move around the needles. It got very big on the needles very quickly. It was quite hard on the hands. It kept making my needles undo, which never happens. And the bobble rows were just endless. You can imagine what these last two were like. They just took forever. I think that bind off bobble row took probably 3 hours. I had to do it in several parts because it just was driving me nuts. So yes, I won't be knitting another one, but I do love it. I will love wearing it. I'm going to give it a good block because I do just want it to be a little bit bigger. But yes, that's the Fleur Shawl. It was a lovely pattern. Well, nothing against the pattern. I know my friend Angie has knit 5 of them and she loves it. But I don't love knitting the bobbles enough to knit another one. So that's going to be the one and only one. But yes, another one. I think I've got like 4 new shawls now. Something like that, 3 or 4. Oh well, I wear them loads in the winter, it's fine. Okay, so those are my finished objects. So I'm going to move on to whips. So like I said, I'm really into making socks for Freya. So in my gorgeous Jibby Rousseau's bag, I have got her next pair. And here they are. Look at those for rainbow goodness. She said to me, Beks, I want rainbow socks. So my friend Rach, who is from this Knitty Life podcast, very kindly sent me a little scrap that she had of some Fab Funky fibres. I'm afraid I don't know the colourway. And here it is. So I'm almost on finished the second repeat, and I know I've got enough to do 2 repeats on each sock. And then I'm going to do the toe and the heel in this one, which is Go Lightly from Mr. B's. I think that'll look quite nice. Blue skies and rainbows. So yeah, there's not a lot to say about that one really. I've done a little 2x2 rib cuff, just quite a short one. I did 48 stitches again. I think that's very good for her size. And then obviously I use a little template to measure in where I cut the heel. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute. So yeah, that one's just ticking along quite nicely. I'm in no hurry with it. I might give it to her for her birthday. I'm not really sure. I'll probably give it to her before then and make some more for her birthday, I expect, knowing me. Okay, so the next one, this is actually a whip that's not really destined to become a finished object, and you will kind of see why a little bit later on. But I wanted to show you because it also helps me to answer a question that I had. So you would have seen last time this was a work in progress. It was just a little shorty sock in the yarn Tart by Mr. B's, one of my favourite colourways. And I just sort of made up a little twisted rib kind of pattern on the front just for some interest. But yeah, like I say, it's not going to become a pair, but I will tell you more about that in a minute. But somebody asked me, and I'm really sorry, I've completely blanked on your name. I should have checked beforehand and I forgot. But somebody asked me how I know where to put my afterthought heels in, because obviously I often talk about that. I always do afterthought heels. Life is too short for heel flap and gussets and all the rest of it. So I always do an afterthought heel. So this is generally what my socks look like before the heel goes in, whether they're short or long. So I just do a tube with a toe on the end. Then, and I believe this suggestion actually comes from the Fish Lips Kiss heel pattern, but I may be wrong. I have a template of my foot. Okay, so I've got my whole foot. This is the line here where I knit up to if I'm doing a contrast toe. So if I'm doing a contrast toe, I knit up to there, then knit a few rounds in the contrast and then knit the toe. So that's why the tape's different there. And I have it folded over here most of the time at the heel. Okay, so that's my heel bit. So what I do is I simply just pop that into the sock once it's done with the toe. And I stretch that. This one's actually a little bit short because it wasn't really destined for me, but it's fine. There will be others. So then I obviously see where the end of that template hits, and I would put a progress keeper or a stitch marker. Let me see if I've got one. No, I've got one handy. I would put that there, and then I would know which stitches to pick up to knit my heel. So yeah, that is as simple as that. I don't do any fancy measuring. I definitely don't count rounds. Again, life is far too short for that. template all the way. I have one for me, I've got one for Paul, and I've got one for Freya. Anybody else I would kind of measure their shoe size. So what I would do is find out what shoe size they are, find out the equivalent in inches, and then I usually take off about 1.5 inches for the depth of the heel, and cut the heel in at that point, if you see what I mean. I hope I'm explaining this clearly enough. I just thought, seeing as one person was interested to find out how that was done, then other people might be too. So yeah, that's that one. So the reason that sock is not going to end up with a pair is because I decided that I really wanted to use the yarn somewhere else. So it was leftover yarn as it was from my first Whitmore sweater, and I think I had 3 skeins and I barely cut into the third one for the sweater, so I had quite a bit left. So I'd knit that sock and I had about 40 grams left for the second sock. But I have made really good progress on my summer sorrel sweater. Okay, this is actually inside out because the whole thing is in reverse stockinette, so you knit it inside out so you don't have to do tons of purling. So let me turn it in the right way. I think that's that, yeah. So it looks something like this. I'm really pleased with it so far. So you can see, I think I was still on this first colour when I showed it last. So I decided to fade in the second colour just before the end of the yoke. You can see up there. And I just sort of made up the fade as I went along, a few rows of each. So these yarns are Kiss a Wookie by Mr. B's. They're all Mr. B's, this one. Should be playing Hannah's Mr. B's drinking game. This one is Raspberry Special. Raspberry Special. I can't talk today. And then I decided that it would look really good fade into tart at the end, because it just kind of needed, I felt like it needed something a bit more solid, and obviously the colours just go so beautifully together. They are actually designed to sort of be a set. So you can see I've just, sorry, it's really hard to hold it up. Hold it up that way, it's probably easier. I've just faded in tart and just knit into the end with that now. So this has been a lovely project. I've really, really enjoyed it. Once I was able to sit down and concentrate on it properly, I really enjoyed it, and it's flying off the needles now. So really, I think I've got a couple more inches left to do on the body. The sleeves will take, minutes, because it'd just be a cuff. And it'd be ready to wear. So I'm really excited about this one. But that is why I had a real dilemma, because I was like, oh, it would look really nice faded into tart, but I've only got 40 grams left. Do I finish the socks and see what I've got left, but then I'd be really playing yarn chicken on the sweater? Do I just forget about the socks? And my lovely knitty friends in our WhatsApp group helped me come to the decision that I should just do it, because it will look really good. And what I can always do is just pop a heel in that sock, either with this or with something else. Actually, I could use Raspberry Special because I've got loads of that left. And then Claire can use it as a sample in the booth when she gets back to doing things like that. So it's not going to go to waste completely, and it's fine. I hadn't spent hours and hours on that sock. It was only a little shorty sock. It probably only took me a couple of hours. But I'd rather be really, really happy with this jumper. So yeah. So this pattern, sorry, I feel like I'm jumping around all over the place today. This pattern is Summer Sorrel by Wool and Pine. And it is just a sort of a tea version of the sorrel sweater. It's really nice and lightweight. The gauge is fairly open. Sorry, that's the inside, but yeah, the gauge is fairly open. So it's going to be nice and light. I think that'd be great. Yeah, really happy with it. Really love the colours. Looking forward to wearing it and hoping it fits. I don't have the best track record with garments, but there we go. I don't care if it doesn't, to be honest, because I just love making it. Okie dokie, right then. Final whip today is in this gorgeous llamas and cacti bag that Claire made for me. Is my Crest of a Wave shawl. So you've seen this before. I did actually remember to put in a progress keeper after I last podcasted, so you can see how much progress I've made. So it's just here. In fact, I'll show you the progress keeper. So the progress keeper is from my lovely friend Emma at Stitching Me Softly. If you haven't heard of Emma, you should really check her out on Instagram. She makes the coolest crochet jewellery, and she also sells kits so you can make your own. They're really fab, really funky, really unusual, and the kits are really cool too, because obviously you can have a go yourself. But she also has a few little other bits and pieces, and these progress keepers are actually made from the sort of leftover offcuts of perspex that she uses in some of her jewellery kits. So I really like that. It's a real use every scrap kind of ethos. So it's really cool, and I just love the neon green with this neon-y project. So yeah, you can see I've progressed all the way up there, so there's probably 4 repeats I think, and I've not touched this in about a week because I've been motoring along with my fleur. So this pattern is Crest of a Wave by Joanna Harriet. It's a gorgeous pattern. It's really easy. I've kind of got it memorised now, so I can just kind of work a repeat when I can fit one in. I really like this kind of garter border that goes along the side. It goes this way, so it's like down the side. And I like that it's knit side to side, so you build up to the longer rows quite slowly. But it's just lovely, and I'm loving already the sort of size and weight of it. It's going to have a really nice drape to it. The yarn is a very precious skein of La Bien-Aimée that I bought in Paris in February, and it's in the Amy's sweater colourway. It's just so gorgeous, grey with all these neon pops. And the pattern did actually call for lace weight yarn, but I was just really set on using this yarn for it. So this yarn is actually sport weight. So I adjusted my needle size. I think I went up to a 4.5. Yeah, I did. And I have this much left now of the skein. Now I only have one skein, and I don't really want to buy another one because they're very expensive. So I have to finish it off with this leftover of Claire and John's Buble base, which is just a naked alpaca cashmere silk, and you can see the beautiful halo on this. It is just so soft and such a pretty colour. So I think that will be absolutely fine. That will I'll just carry on in this when it runs out, and I think it just work. It'd be sort of like a colour block kind of idea. I'm not too worried about it. I would definitely love to knit another one of these. I think it would really be good for a gift, and I would definitely like to have a go at knitting it in the lace weight as it was intended. It's just such a great pattern. If you haven't checked out this pattern, you should really go have a look on Ravelry. My pictures aren't great, but it's just this one, Crest of a Wave, and it's just lovely. When I saw it on Jo's Instagram feed and on her sister's Instagram feed, I just thought, oh, I've got to knit that straight away. So I think I literally downloaded it the day it came out. Really lovely knit, really highly recommend it. Okay, now I've got a bit of future knitting. So I obviously talked about this before, and I said that I really wanted to knit the Schnee Shawl by Melanie Berg. So it's really hard to see in this picture again, sorry. Our printer has been saying it's running out of ink for about 6 months, and it still hasn't gone yet. So everything just prints out a bit paler, but yeah, I think you can see quite well here that it's just a really delicate, fine, beautiful shawl. It's again lace weight and mohair, and it's just got these sort of ridges along here, and yeah, I just loved it. So The pattern called for lace weight, which I did show last time. So I got the tag here. West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite in the Viscount colourway, and this is Falkland wool and mulberry silk, so it's really soft and shiny, and it's 800 meters to 100 grams, so get a lot for your money. I just love this colour. I think it's really pretty. Now I had some mohair which I'd bought, but when it came it just didn't look right. It was only like drops. It just didn't work and I wasn't happy with it, and obviously I really wanted to be happy with it because, you know, you don't want to start on a project when you don't really like the yarn, do you? And I talked about it on the podcast last time, and afterwards I got a message from my gorgeous friend Roz. Hi Roz, I know she likes watching, to say that she had some mohair which she thought would be perfect and she wanted to give me for a gift. So I popped over to her house to collect it, and look, could it be more perfect? This is what I had in mind. It's just unfortunately not what came. So I am just thrilled with it. This is, and it makes it even more exciting actually, because I've always wanted to try out Martin's Lab yarns. And it is their silky mohair, which is 72% mohair, 28% silk. And it's 420 meters to 50 grams. So I've got 3 of these in the colour Seafoam. And it's just gorgeous. I'm just so happy with it. Roz, thank you so much. I just think it's going to be beautiful. This, I think I'm going to try and start maybe this afternoon. Maybe, although I'm on a bit of a finishing kick at the moment rather than a starting one. So yeah, it's just most of the shawl is knit in this, which will be interesting because I've never done a lot of knitting with mohair. I suppose I did in my Birds of a Feather shawl, but never really a lot of knitting with mohair on its own. It's usually held double with something else, but you do then hold it double on the little sort of ridges with this one. So I think it's just going to be soft and pretty and light and delicate. Oh, I just love it. I knew when I saw it that I had to knit it. So yeah, Schnee by Melanie Berg. Lush, I can't wait. Right then, so I've only got a little bit of acquisitions, not very much really. So when I went to collect the yarn from Roz's house, I did leave, I left some flowers for her and some chocolates for a little boy in return, but she'd left the bag in the porch for me, and when I got home and opened it, there was something else in there, and she had seen and heard me mention last week that I'd bought the Sunset Minis from Siobhan's Crafts, after seeing them on Roz's Instagram feed that she had them and she was making a sweater out of them, and she had ended up with quite a few leftovers after making her sweater, so she really kindly popped them in the package for me so that I could make something else with her leftovers, so I had a more substantial amount of them, which was just so kind, because I just adore these. Absolutely adore these, and I'm really tempted. I think I'm going to make Freya a little stripy sweater with them, because just how gorgeous would that be, and how amazingly happy would she be with those. If you were 5, do you love a sweater in those? I would. So yeah, thanks again, Roz, you are too kind. And then I've been very lucky girl this week, because I haven't bought anything, but I have been given a gorgeous gift. So there are many benefits to being the sister and sister-in-law of a yarn dyer. All the sneak peeks of new things, first dibs on updates, frequent discounts, all sorts of things. Getting to use the label maker to help print labels, all sorts. And one of them is usually testing out new products. So Claire, you'll probably have seen on her Instagram, has started making these beautiful knitters necklaces. So she very kindly made one for me and brought it round the other day. And here it is. I get it to focus. I can't see if it's focusing or not. No. and it was better there. So on here there are 3 progress keepers and 2 stitch markers, and they come off really easily because this is a split ring here. They are sterling silver. I've got a little feather, which she knows I love because I've got a tattoo of feathers. A little bell, which I'm wondering if it's a cat bell. There's some little kissy lips. I can't really see. And then these gorgeous, she did like blues for me because she knew those were my colours. So it's just gorgeous, and then it's all on this like leather cord, and then it's done very cleverly so that you can like adjust the length of it. So if you want to like a shorter necklace you can, or if you want to have it sort of so it dangles down quite low, you can just stretch out like that. So I'll just stand up like that, so it hangs quite nice place. So yeah, really cool. She gave it to me in this cutie little stamped calico bag, but she's sort of packaging them on really cute little cards, but I forgot to keep mine. So I think these are available in their next update. I know she's done quite a few, and they're just gorgeous. I was really happy with this because when I saw her picture, I thought it was going to be much heavier. And I know I've seen like a lot of this sort of thing on other people's podcasts, and they always look a bit big and cumbersome. But I like that this is still delicate, but you've still got enough. There's like 5 little things on there, which is really useful. And I just love it. I know she's got some in like different colours. She's got more like coppery ones with like warmer tone beads. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled in the shop because it's a really lovely thing to have. Really nice knitter's accessory. So yeah, thanks Claire for that. And while I'm speaking about Claire, 2 things actually. One, she had a very big birthday last week, and so we had a great time celebrating that in her garden, obviously following by all the rules. So she had a day-long celebration with everyone coming in shifts. So that was really exciting. But we have got something planned. We've got secret plans. And I wish I could tell you, but I need to keep it under my hat. But don't worry, it won't be a secret for very long. We're doing a little joint project. And hopefully, probably next time I podcast, we can probably fill in the gaps a little bit more. So yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to in the next couple of weeks. And finally, I have got a giveaway. So you'll remember a little while ago, I showed these minis from lovely Jen at Castleview Yarns. Jen's a really good friend of mine. I've known her for years and years. And I ordered some yarns from her, and she sent me these as a giveaway, along with this huge bundle of stitch markers. And I've actually counted these just now because I thought, gosh, there's a lot in there. There are 16, so 6 10-gram minis and 16 stitch markers. And look how rainbowy and sunny and happy they are. Absolutely gorgeous. These are the Great Unknown mini skein set. So I would like to give this away to one of my lovely viewers. I was trying to think of something clever and all sorts with it, but I couldn't really. So I would just like you to leave a comment down below saying maybe what you'd like to use these minis for, and then I will do a little random comment generator thing and pick somebody lovely to send them to. So what I'll probably do is leave that until I podcast next time. So it'll probably be open for about 2 weeks. So yeah, if you want to win these, just message underneath this video what you would like to make with them. And if you could just leave either an Instagram or Ravelry name with that so that I can contact you if you win. But I will announce it on the next podcast as well. So yeah, good luck with that. I won a podcast giveaway once years ago when I was like a really new knitter, and it was so exciting. So hopefully I can do the same for somebody else. So I think that's it for now. So what's coming up? So like I said, I've got a fairly quiet week this week. At the end of next week, we are going away for a few days down to Dartmoor, which I'm hoping to vlog. Paul sort of mentioned the other day, he's like, are you going to vlog when we go to Dartmoor? Because you usually vlog when we go away. I was like, oh yeah, that'll be fun. So yeah, we're going to go down there for, I think it's 3 nights. 3 nights, do a bit of walking and just chill out for a bit, which would be really lovely. And I'm sort of in the throes of planning everything for our summer house, which is being delivered in, when is it now? Like 2 weeks on Friday, I think. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, 2 weeks on Friday. So I've just been ordering all kinds of cushions, and we bought the paint yesterday because we want to paint it inside. And we got a real bargain on a lamp, which was fun. So yeah, I'm just kind of gathering up all the stuff for that. And yeah, that's about it really. I'm just planning lots of knitting. I'm having a baking day with Freya tomorrow. She wants me to teach her to knit too, so I might see if we can give that a little go. So yeah, that's the plan. So hopefully I will be back, I expect, in a couple of weeks, probably 2 weeks from today, I would hope, to share what we've been up to. And yeah, I will see you then. So don't forget, comment down there if you want to win the mini skeins, and keep looking after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye.